Hey yo, what's up guys? It is me, DPX here. Welcome back to another review. Today, I am reviewing the Mortal Kombat movie. I actually saw this in the theater and it was pretty cool seeing it in the theater. I don't know, I just like going back to the theaters now. So, let's just get right into this. Before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to notifications, and leave a comment. You'll be a subscriber. So keep in mind, this is Mortal Kombat, based off of the video game series Mortal Kombat. And, I'm gonna say this: if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, I'd say I'm a fan of the series. If you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, I think you're gonna like this more than like non-fans will. But I feel like non-fans will still really like this. It's definitely the best Mortal Kombat movie by a landslide. But considering what it has to compete with, that's not saying much. But there is one thing that those movies didn't have that this one does, and makes it more authentic. You know what that is? Violence. This movie is bloody and gory. They made it just as bloody and gory as much as they could to be like the games. And basically any Mortal Kombat thing that isn't a video game, with a few minor exceptions, don't have any blood or gore, and it's just like, you're missing the point here. And the fatalities in this look awesome. They are very cool and kind of some of them unexpected. I don't want to say any of them, but yeah, it's really cool. Also, the performances in the movie, the guy who plays Scorpion, I don't remember his name, but I know he's a really good actor and he does great. Sub-Zero is also really cool. Kano, I have some mixed feelings about him. I've heard many people call him a show stealer. But he did get a bit annoying at times. But he was pretty funny. I did actually genuinely laugh at his jokes. Some of the shit he was saying. It got a bit annoying though. Like at times it was like a serious moment and then he sort of like says some dumb shit and it's like, please fuck off. But I mean, he's a bad guy though, so I guess it's, you know, heat. He gets some heat. And yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. I have to say that. Kind of like Godzilla vs. Kong, if you're going into the movie for the story, the plot, the character development, you're going to be disappointed, because no, that's not going to happen here. If you're here for the action, for these fights, for these people ripping each other's spinal cords out, you're going to get that. And each individual fight, I actually thought was really entertaining, especially the fight at the beginning, where Scorpion fights off the Lin Kuei. I thought that was hella entertaining. And like, this isn't a spoiler because this is like this story of Mortal Kombat has been told every single time. Scorpion, he has a family. If they get killed by the Lin Kuei, Scorpion fucks up the Lin Kuei. I was with Gus, and he even heard me. I was like, fuck them up, and he fucked them up, and it was awesome. It was just so fun. And then the fight there's another fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which was the one you saw in the trailers and shit, and I thought that was really cool. You know, you saw in the trailer, you know, Sub-Zero stabbing Scorpion, and then the blood comes out, and then he freezes the blood, stabs Scorpion with the blood, and I thought that was awesome, and it was in the movie, and it was awesome, and they do a bunch of awesome stuff there. One thing I didn't like though was the main character, Cole Young. He's like the chosen one, you know. He's chosen to fight in Mortal Kombat. He's not a character from Mortal Kombat. He originated from this movie, which is fine. You can do that, whatever. But I feel like, you know, he's just a lot less interesting than most of the other characters we had in this movie. You know, like, I'm not saying you can't center the movie around someone brand new, but you have characters like, I don't know, Sub-Zero, you have characters like Scorpion, you have Liu Kang, you have Sonya Blade, you have all these people that are by far more interesting than this guy. But he's cool, you know, the fight scenes he's in are pretty entertaining. And yeah, another thing that I found very weird about this movie, not even bad, just weird, the dialogue. Actually, no, it was bad. Like, there's one scene where Liu Kang says, "You have to listen to me. Your training has begun. Come with me." And it's just like, I don't know, it just didn't seem right. Like, when you say you have to listen to me, it sounds like he's about to say something that's, very important and very, he's going to explain something, but all he says is, "Your training has begun. Come with me." And it's like, huh? Okay? And there are a bunch of just weird dialogue, and yeah, it's, I don't know. One thing about, another thing is the fights. I said I like the fights, but the editing could be a bit choppy at times. There's like some quick cuts that got a bit annoying and even obnoxious at times. But the overall, like, entertainment from the fights was enough to, make me ignore the choppiness of the fights. This isn't really a plot-driven movie either. Like, things sort of just happen. It was weirdly paced. I don't even want to say it was, like, slow or fast. It was weirdly paced. Weird, okay? Like, things sort of just happened, and they sort of just connected. It was sort of just one thing happened, and then another thing happened. And that's fine, because really, you come there for these bloody, gory fights, and that's what I came there, that's what I got, and it met my expectations, because I went there for that. The pacing just felt odd. Again, it wasn't a slow-paced movie, it wasn't a fast-paced movie. I mean, it was, like, the pacing, like, it felt just as long as, it is. If it felt, like, it didn't feel too long, okay? It didn't feel too fast either. It wasn't paced too slow, it wasn't paced too fast, but it was paced weirdly. I can't put my finger on it. I know, if I'm a reviewer, I have to explain certain things, but I just can't put my finger on this. It was paced very weirdly. I'm telling you, you should go into this movie for the fight scenes, for the blood and the gore, and, if that's not your thing, by the way, if you are not if you don't like to watch blood or gore and that shit, then you probably shouldn't watch this movie, just because this has a lot of them. And I know Mortal Kombat, I love Mortal Kombat, and they're all bloody and gory, And I know they weren't gonna do anything too bloody and too gory, They're not gonna do a thing where, like, in Mortal Kombat 11, where Garrus pulls someone's skeleton out of their body. They're not gonna do that in this. But I was expecting, like, some limb cutting and shit, or some, like, brutal stabs, like stabbing here and then maybe that. I wasn't expecting what we got. Some of the stuff we got was, good shit. If you come here, though, for any other reason, you're gonna be disappointed. I know, like, in the Mortal Kombat games, the story modes are actually really good, especially the recent one, Mortal Kombat 11. That story mode is awesome. But let's be real, you play Mortal Kombat to do the fighting, because it's a fighting game, and you like it especially for the fatalities. The fatalities are in this, and there's some cool nods to the game, there's a point where Kung Lao says flawless victory. There's a point where Scorpion says, "Get over here." There's a point where Sub-Zero says, "I am Sub-Zero." And, it feels like a nice nod to the video games. In the trailers, when Scorpion originally said, "Get over here," it felt like it was pasted in from the other games. It felt like the same "get over here" that we've heard many times. But now it feels different and it feels natural, So that was a bit of a quick review for Mortal Kombat. I don't have too much to say about this movie. So in conclusion, Mortal Kombat, again, if you want to watch a bunch of fight scenes, if you want to watch people get brutally murdered, you will absolutely find this film entertaining. It doesn't have that much else going for it, though. I think the best experience for this movie is probably in the theater. Although, if you could watch this on HBO Max if you don't feel safe going back to the theaters. And I'm sure, like, this isn't like a cinematic, you must see in the theater type of film that Godzilla vs. Kong is. But I feel like you should see this movie in the theater, definitely. In the end, I give Mortal Kombat a 7 out of 10. It's good. This is, you know, we're on a decent streak of video game movies, you know? We've gotten Sonic, Detective Pikachu, now this. I wonder what else we'll get. But yeah, it was good. But if you, like, you have to go into it expecting, you know, you have to go into it not expecting a masterpiece. This is basically, you have to go into this either as a fan of Mortal Kombat, or you have to go into this knowing what you're going to get. Only expecting that one thing, that being the fights and the violence, and you'll get it, and you'll be satisfied. Anyways, that was my review of the Mortal Kombat movie. What do you guys think? Yeah, this was a bit of a quick review, as I said. There wasn't too much, as much to say about this one as there was for other movies and shows I've reviewed recently. But what do you guys think? Did you see Mortal Kombat? Have you not seen it? And if you haven't, do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? And if you have, do you like it? Do you not like it? Anything about the movie, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.